examples. And talking about abstract concepts can be sometimes complicated, so let's just break it into simple steps by simplifying it. First of all, you'll be sharing or setting the date and time with your students, right? You'll tell them the topic prior to the lesson. Why? Because it helps them make notes and think with themselves, ask themselves questions. For example, what am I going to talk about? I just remembered this life experience that I had that is related to this topic. And another important thing is that you need to simplify the concepts. So instead of just mentioning the abstract concept as it is, you need to ask simple questions, use examples in order to make things easier, right, for your students to talk about. So for example, instead of just saying, let's talk about social dynamics, how about you ask a thought-provoking question, which is, what in another example, let's talk about well-being. Instead of that, you can say, what is the definition of success, right? This is going to trigger some thoughts in their heads, make them think about things, and it's going to lead them to talk about the abstract concept itself, right? And make sure class consists of no more than 6 students, because it's really important to remember that speak as much as they can in class. And considering the fact that you're doing it online, make or pay attention that you have a lot of advantages, and that is you'll have the opportunity to gather people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different ages. Maybe you'll have people who are, for example, children and parents in the same session talking to each other. Of course, I'm not talking about young children here. As you remember, I target young adults. So also remember that people can feel more comfortable talking online than in person, right? Yep. Okay, so moving to tip number 2, inviting special guests who are experts in their fields. And we have done a lot of those examples. Let me share a few of them. One of them was navigating overlapping cultural identities. And our special guest here was a bilingual ESL teacher and translator who's based in London. Again, we had the opportunity to gather people from different cultures, different backgrounds, all in one place. Another example was the art of self-management, and our special guest here was an author of a very famous book on parenting. Again, we had the opportunity to gather people from different ages, different generations, children and parents, asking our special guest a question, right? Which is so interactive and so bringing the language into real life, basically. And then we have another example, which is how to stop learning a language. And our special guest here was language learning expert and polyglot who speaks more than 5 languages. And here I would like to focus on it a little bit. So, she talked about so many aspects, and they were all useful, but one aspect I would like to highlight it, which is self-perfectionism. And we tend sometimes to learn everything so perfectly, to become self-perfectionists about learning the language, or maybe telling ourselves things like, I will learn this language until I'm very good at it, right? And I will not move to another one until I'm just finished with this one, as if you can see of learning a language, right? So in the meantime, as our special guest, as she's speaking, we are taking care that the audience is taking notes, asking questions, sharing thoughts and opinions. Also, the special guest would advise them to do so, right? So, where do you find the experts to invite to your classes? I see a question right here. Basically, we have our special guests from our acquaintances, our friends. Every person, has something special to offer, right? So every person can help us be a special guest as long as their level is B1 and above, right? As long as they can basically present something in English. Thank you so much for this question. So moving to tip number 3, I would like to talk about employing ChatGPT in speaking classes. And boy, oh boy, ChatGPT is becoming the right hand of most professions today, right? Let me give you these 3 main steps to creating an online engaging lesson. with the help of ChatGPT. Step number one, you're going to choose the topic. And for example, you can choose from the IELTS speaking topic. For example, you can have them online. IELTS speaking topic on, for example, travel. Okay, you have set the topic and you're going to share it with your students. Step number two, you're going to find a list of relevant vocabulary words, and there's also plenty of them online. If the topic is about travel, then apparently the vocabulary list has to be about travel as well. And step number three, you're going to prompt ChatGPT to generate role-play cards as the following. Let me just show you this chat that I had with him. I prefer to call him because I would like to personalize him, because he has been a great help to me. But before then, let me just mention that new guidelines of the safe use of AI. Before using any AI tools, make sure that the relevant people, learners, parents, and school communities are informed about what data will be collected and shared while using AI tools. Ensure that you get consent when needed. For example, ChatGPT requires that children aged 13 to 18 obtain parental consent before using it. So pay attention when you use ChatGPT, or when you get it to a child who is 13 to 18 years old, on how to use it. So let me show you this chat that I had with him. Let me just move it right here. Okay. So, first of all, I told him I need a set of 3 role-play cards to do between 2 online students. Talk to each student in person and tell them what they need to do. Example, you are somebody and you need to do so and so. And he gave me a great example or answer. He gave me 3 different scenarios, each one with a title. And then the first one, for example, has student A, you are somebody, your task is something. Student B, you are somebody, your task is something. 3 different scenarios. I can share them with my students so that they can role play with each other. And then I ask myself, how about I specify the topic? This is going to save me more time, right? If I customize the role play even better. So I said, create 3 different sets for travel topic. And again, he gave me an amazing answer, keeping the same details that I asked him about. This time with topics verified or customized about travel. And then again, I asked myself, how about I add the list of vocabulary? Give me another example of a topic that students can use its list in, and I give him my list of vocabulary words that I was previously sharing with my students. And again, he gave me an amazing answer, 3 different scenarios with the same details that I wanted. Only this time, your students will find it normal to use this exact list of vocabulary, right? Yeah, and you actually can tell it when your students enjoy an activity. For example, this one was a success, dealing with unexpected situations. It was really amazing. We were able to role play normally. It was more like a scene from a movie or something, right? Yep, so coming back, I think I'm done. Which tip, I'd like to ask you this question, which tip are you most likely to follow in your online speaking lessons? Is it tip number 1, talking about real-life examples, abstract concepts through real-life examples, bringing the language to real life? Or is it tip number 2, inviting special guests who are experts in their fields? Or tip number 3, employing ChatGPT in speaking classes? I see, wow, all 3, especially 3. 3 wins, right? ChatGPT, the giant. 1 is very useful. Oh, thank you. Thank you, people. 1 and 2. I'm very glad that you have found them all to be useful. Yep. Yeah. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. I am so glad to have been part of this. And you can find me on LinkedIn. This is my username right here. If you'd like to contact me or collaborate with me or anything, thank you so much. See you, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Noor. I mean, everyone is saying thanks in the chat. That was really practical. Lots of ideas. You gave us 3 ideas. We're very lucky. Don't go away, Noor. We would love to invite back for questions.
All right.
But now we're going to pass over to our second expert teacher for today. It's Agnieszka. Hi, Agnieszka.
Hi, welcome everyone.
joining us from Poland. What city or what region?
I'm just in the very center of Poland, just in the middle of Poland, yes. So